The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koobalings! The Nintendo Shack is back, and we are here to do what Nintendo don't. See what I did there? I'm stealing all of the catchphrases. My master plan has finally worked to claim the Nintendo Shack as my own. See, first, I planted an EMP at Donnie's house to take out all of his electronic devices. Turns out he was on vacation anyway, so that's going to be really awkward when he comes home, but he's gone out of the picture. And I totally tricked Jason into thinking his brother was getting married this weekend, as if anybody was going to marry that guy. Anyway, it is I, your host tonight, Kevin. This week, I've invaded the shack. I also left the window open so little Mr. Badbit could sneak himself into the shack, too. How we doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Oh, wait, no longer, because greatness is here. It's arrived. Oh, man. I'm so excited. How are you, Kev?
I'm doing great. This is so fun, and they're going to be so mad.
It feels so wrong, but at the same time, feels so right.
I know. It was such a good plan, but, I guess I kind of forgot about Caro, so I can't get her out now, so I guess you're here too. Hi, Caroline.
Y'all are in trouble. Like big trouble.
What did we do? There's some
Go sit in the corner, in the really gross corner over there of the shack that like we just don't go to. Go.
That's where the trophy room resides. What are you talking about? That corner?
Oh man, no,
that's my home.
It's fine. We're just kind of changing things up a little bit. We got a PlayStation dude in here and a former shacker. Like what?
Not a former shacker. This conversation here, former shacker. I branded the damn thing. This shack was my idea. I just can't be on 5 podcasts a week, and nobody really wants it. Let's be honest. It was a point in PSVG where I was on every single show. It had to stop.
Yeah,
it's true.
Nobody wants that.
But you know what's real funny? You know, we're here. We're doing cross podcast play. Where's Sean Capri? He's not here. No, I'm just wondering.
Why is Sony cross playing with Nintendo? Because that's not where it's supposed to work.
Because you know what? Shoe works in mysterious ways.
The Nintendo PlayStation. That's what tonight is. This is the Nintendo PlayStation. But keep in mind, though, too, Caroline, you were just on a PlayStation podcast last week. So
I was. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having like a midlife crisis at 28 years old. Is this a quarter life crisis?
Quarter life crisis. Yeah, I mean, that works. And I mean, you're on more. You're doing what I stopped doing, was just showing up on every single show.
Yeah, I was going to have 4 last week until OT got pushed over to Monday. So technically it was only 3 last week, and crazy.
Yeah, this is my week apparently for him. So anybody watching live, hi. Hopefully Caroline's watching the chat because I can't do it.
I will do that. Hold on.
Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, this is my second podcast of this evening. Should be third. So much like 2 weeks ago, I'm doing back to back. So if you're watching now, PSVG will be following right after. So stay tuned. But anyway, guys, let's talk about what we've been playing on Nintendo. I'll go first to give you some time. I unfortunately do not have Octopath Traveler. The finances are not here right now. So a couple weeks, I will definitely get it. Played the demo though, the 3-hour demo. Absolutely love it, but we'll get to that later. So besides that, Fortnite, of course, and that goes without saying.
Right?
Sorry, Caroline. Fortnite. That's my Xeno. Sorry. Mm-hmm. And I'm still picking away at Hyrule Warriors. There's just so much meat on that bone with that game. Like there's so much to do.
I can't remember. I think I put at least 200 hours into the Wii U version. There's even more this time because it's the combination of both of them.
Yeah, I mean, and keep in mind, I beat the whole thing. Well, I didn't do all the adventure maps like I'm doing now. This is why I'm still playing this one now. But I played the whole thing on 3DS. Like I already experienced most of this game. Didn't purchase any of the DLC, so now that's here for me. But like I'm still on the first adventure map, and there's like 8 now or something. I'm like, there's so much to do.
There's 10 actually. There's 10 if you include the one that you unlocked through the Skulltulas.
Oh, that's true. Yep, you're right. So I just unlocked Skull Kid now. So I haven't played as him yet, but I have that at my whim now, I guess. But yeah, I still love this game. If you have Nintendo Switch and you don't have this game, this is a game you should have. It's an easy one to pick up and play for short periods of time, but it has so much content that you can always just be like, hey, let me knock out a map or two right now and just run through it. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Caroline, what about you? Anything other than Octopath Traveler on your plate right now?
Just Octopath. It's a fantastic game. We're going to talk about it here in a bit, but it's been taking up all of my time. I think I might just, be playing Pokemon Go a little bit, and Disney Magic Kingdom's Big Hero 6 event going on right now a little bit, but Octopath is definitely taking everything.
So we haven't talked about this much, but I went back to Magic Kingdom still. So.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm playing it as well. I'm through the Big Hero 6. My wife jumped back into, so yeah, we're throwing more money at Disney. Gosh,
you can't not go for the Big Hero 6 characters.
Well, that's kind of where I was like, oh, this is coming up. Let me go for it. And then as they were like, hey, you can purchase this character. And the first character was a Go-Go, and it was like $3. I'm like, they never do a character for only $3. They're like 10 or 15. I'm like, this is a deal. So I bought her, and then Fred was like,
Fred comes out $6.99.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, Fred's more, but I can't have everybody but the one guy. I'm like, you got to have them all at Pokemon. Yeah. So I'm back playing that again. But coming out of the trophy room, which is typically all blue, I think we see some red light shining out of there. So what's going on in Mr. Badbit land on the Nintendo side?
We know it's really funny. One of the questions we got on the trophy room last few days back was, when are we going to have some Sony posters in the back? Because it's all Nintendo. It's all Nintendo. And for me, when it comes to the Switch, I've been playing Octopath. And then when I'm not playing Octopath, when I want to just break it up, I play a little bit of Fortnite here or there.
A little bit. Come on, a little bit. Don't even say a little bit.
Just a little tiny bit. And I'd like to brag because I think in the Make Us Better community, there is the number one. There is the GOAT, as the kids are calling it nowadays. And I would like to consider myself the people's champs of podcasting, also the people's champ of Fortnite. Because if you guys saw on Twitter,
I did.
Badbit, 4 kills, 1 rocket shot, victory royale.
Yeah, that was crazy. I saw that. That was nuts. What were they all doing right there?
I don't know. It was
a whole squad on one person. That should not have ended the way it did at all. Let alone one shot. You shouldn't have even won that match, period.
No,
that was incredible.
No, I shouldn't. And and then the next victory royale I got was the most boring one. The 2 other guys. It was a solo match, me versus 2 other guys. And they just both died in the storm, and I won. And I was just like, well, there's nothing here for me now, greener pastures. But I'm waiting. I'm really excited. I know we're gonna get into it just a second. That there's another game besides Fortnite, because I know people like Bobby Miller out there. They're tired of me talking about Fortnite. They're done. They're like, Joe, go on to something else. But when a game is $1 billion franchise in a little less than a year, it's not even a year. It's something worth talking about, man. So I'm loving it. I'm still enjoying it. It's still got its hooks in me, and that's really what I've been playing.
Yeah, I cannot get away from it either. And that's the thing with me, and I've talked about it numerous times on all the different shows. It kills me that it's okay, I have other games I need to save it for the other podcasts because they're not Nintendo games. There are other games I've beaten recently, and I have more on my plate that I need to get to, big games that have come out in the last year or this year that I've not even touched. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to go ahead and play some more Fortnite, and that's all I keep doing.
I bought Hollow Knight on the day of E3. Literally after it was announced, I have not touched it, and I know how great that game is. Everybody's talking about how amazing it is, and it's just like Fortnite. That's it. We got people in the Make Us Better community. We got JoeySplats, Zombie Dude in there, and we're just we're all playing together. We're all having fun. Bear's out there doing all crazy types of stuff out there. So to me, it speaks volume. It's so crazy. I get to play that game on my Switch in the first place. It's amazing.
Joseph, you need to be the go-between between us and Dev, because Dev still has not gotten a Switch, and he's a Sony dude. And there's some common ground there, and I just think we need to send you as the spokesperson, because boy need to get with it.
And I'll be honest with you guys. I was talking, I think I was talking to Dude in the Make Us Better Discord, and we were talking about like it's crazy to me I own the Trophy Room and PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. It's the best PlayStation podcast out there. I don't think so. Everybody else does though. And to me, the PlayStation 4 is my favorite home console. But with this generation, there's magic with the Nintendo Switch. And to me, it has to be either very close or depending on the type of day and the mood I'm in, it's probably the best console this generation. It's just like the Switch proves you don't need power. Like power is such a stupid argument. Like that's why like I own a Xbox One X. If it was all about power, I should just be playing that. And I'm actually it's sometimes I'm playing a month straight just on my Switch. Like June, that's all I was playing my Switch, and now July I'm like, okay, back to my PlayStation a little bit more to give it some tender love and care, and then I switch back on and off to my Switch. It's a fantastic console. It really is.
So I guess my EMP didn't work. Donnie's phone somehow is still working, and he's commenting in the chat here.
He's having a mental breakdown with his AC going out.
I told you I blew out his stuff with my
ripping
EMP.
up
I wasn't
the
joking.
carpet and. Donnie, come over to my house. I'll take care of you, dude.
I told you what I did. You thought I was joking? His AC's done, toasted.
Yeah.
That's what you get for not letting me in the
I
chat.
like Sean Capri's also in the chat. If I could just recognize.
Oh yes,
and Piper and Tyler, everybody's here, dude.
And Sean,
Luke in the chat.
Yeah.
Sean's in his car right now, not letting me on his podcast. Everything's great.
Although, in fairness, getting a guest on the Xbox Drive is probably the hardest thing to do, I think.
Oh, probably. He said that he would let me on last week, and then all of a sudden, just the next day, he's like, actually, I meant wouldn't. And that's a joke from the Xbox Drive.
Well, you see, I think the big key here is why neither one of us can be on the Xbox Drive for that matter is they need to keep consistent that people on that show don't play any games.
Right.
So,
Right? He we got Xbox is so great, but then we have Mr. Dayspace over there, and he's like, I'm playing my PS2. I'm playing the best platformer that is Crash Bandicoot. It's not very Xbox to me. Dave.
Oh, I know, but it's a great show. So listen to the Xbox Drive, everybody.
Yeah, please.
Hi, Sean. Hi, Dave. Anyway, all right. So let's get to the topic at hand. It's Nintendo Shack. It's been a big week. Everybody is talking about Octopath Traveler. I am going to get it. Just didn't get it yet. But the two of you both have it. Caroline's streaming it over on Twitch for everybody.
Yeah.
And Mr. Badbit was foaming at the mouth to have an opportunity to speak Nintendo and not be ridiculed by the masses.
I know.
So that's why you're here. Let's start with you then, Mr. Badbit.
Yes.
What is your initial impressions of Octopath, and why did you decide to pick it up?
So Octopath, man, ever since I first saw it in that first direct, it got me. There was something about that pop-up book look that it had. Usually, when it comes to those retro-inspired games, I'm typically kind of all right, it's cute, it's awesome, it's great for the people that like it, but usually I'm more, again, with my PlayStation, right? But to me, there was just something artistically that spoke to me with this game. And usually JRPGs don't speak to me whatsoever. I'm not into them. Turn-based, besides for Pokemon, not really my jam. Usually, it's something I'm not into. But there is something really magical about Octopath Traveler that just speaks to how amazing the game feels. Everything feels like I'm a kid again playing my SNES. It feels like a SNES game, but they took every SNES game, every RPG in that era, they put a microscope to it, and they're like, here's the things that worked, and here's the things, the innovation years afterwards, we'll put that in here. And this game has opened up the genre to me, the JRPG genre. I'm infatuated with it. I love it. It's my second favorite game this year, besides another one I can't talk about.
It's true. I mean, you said that harkens back to the SNES era, and that for me, that's the initial reason. Obviously the game is beautiful. The first time we saw it, and we saw hey, it's the pixel art, but it's beautifully rendered backgrounds and kind of the depth of there. I was hooked right from there. But then the first demo came out and I played it and I enjoyed it. It was rough around the edges in some spots, but it was super early on and they did it for feedback. But then playing that second one, the 3-hour one, I'm like, man, this is this is a retro game modernized. Like you look at examples of games like this, and I know it's not in the same vein, but in my mind, I'm putting these two on the same pedestal, which is high up there. Shovel Knight is another example of a retro game done modernly. That's perfection. And then you have this come out now, and this is great. And like I said, I only got the 3 hours. I'm foaming at the mouth to play more because it just looks like something I'm going to lose myself in, and just love every second of it, because this reminds me of Final Fantasy 3 on the SNES. It reminds me of Chrono Trigger, but better and modernized. And
I'm going to be honest with you, Kev. I've never played any of those games.
Oh, so it's even better. It's even better than you love it from that. Like so that also proves then in this case that it's not necessarily nostalgia that's yanking everybody in. Like I said, you haven't played those games, so you don't have any connection there, but I do, and it made the connection for me even better then. But it's good that it can still reach that audience. And we look at what happened where they didn't make enough copies of the game for people to buy in retailers. I did try and find it at one point last week. I couldn't find it. I can order it online. I could do a digital course, but I was trying to see one in person. I've yet to see the game in person yet.
I went shopping with my friends. We went to a couple of Targets, and there were none in stock.
They sold out in Japan. They're sold out.
It's crazy.
So I'm in the tri-state area, and like the only GameStop I went on the mobile device, you know, these phones, I don't know, their screen's bright. And I went on the GameStop app, and the only place that had it was like 25 miles away. And it's like, this is nuts. Again, tri-state area, I have 3 GameStops, no, not even more. At least 5 GameStops around me in a 20-minute, area. So it's crazy. It's so nuts how well that game's selling, and it speaks volumes because it's amazing.
And it's crazy because you think like, okay, if they had more copies, it would be selling even better. Like that's what's great. So the people who want physical, we know there's still a market for people who want physical, especially in Nintendo world, because the stuff retains value so well on Nintendo versus other consoles that people will wait and say, like myself, like I could buy digitally, but I'm kind of like, I think I want the physical. And something that big too, it's mainly because like I don't want to take up that much space on my Switch, because I imagine the files got to be huge. But you look at that, it's like, okay, how much better could sales be if it was there?
I actually bought it digitally when I my Switch is my first digital only console. And I am physical all the way, but for the Switch, and I know a lot of people, Skinny Matt is turning in his bed right now. He's like, what? Someone said digital only.
That's me too. Skinny Matt and I have the same. There's some games that I can do digital, but if it has a physical counterpart, I will absolutely go for the physical.
I think it's also because of the space I'm in. I have just crap littered around everywhere that I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. I can't. Like when it comes to my PlayStation, when it comes to my Xbox, that's where I'm fine with, because I'm stationary when I play it. But with the Switch, I'm on the go so much.
Right.
I'm playing this like in between classes or something, and that's where I play it. I'm mostly handheld, which we'll talk about that in a sec. But like, it surprises me that to me this is I don't miss physical. Like I miss that collector's edition. That book, oh my,
the Wayfarers, yep,
so good. But the convenience, it grips me, man. It grips me. Let me find how much space this takes.
Okay, yeah. While you're doing that, so Caroline, you got it. We knew you were getting it for a long time. We've talked about it. It's been brought up on the Shack numerous times. So what exactly made it click for you? Did you know, like I did from like the trailers, that like, hey, this is something I'm going to be into, or did it take the actual demos to get you really grounded in? What do you think so far?
The original trailer I was interested in, but it wasn't until I heard that it was the same group that did the Bravely series.
Right.
Bravely Default and Bravely Second, that I was like, I'm sold. And the brave points and the battle points in this system are similar, but not like, I mean, it's a different dynamic altogether. Just my love for the JRPGs in general. Everybody knows that JRPG is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, genre of game, next to like simulation, life simulation, farm simulation stuff. So that mixed with my love for retro, my love for the Bravely series, and it absolutely reminds me of Final Fantasy VI. It's just like a Final Fantasy VI meets Bravely hybrid to me.
Totally, yeah.
And it's gorgeous. I'm a huge proponent of aesthetics in games, And the fact that this was done in Unreal Engine 4, yet it's flat the way it is, it's not even flat. There's depth.
There's depth.
But it's flat on depth. It's so hard to explain. But the best thing that I can say is if you got the Wayfarer's edition like I did, the best explanation of it is looking at that flip book, because it literally is like a pop-up book. There are layers of flat that move with the depth depending on how you look at it.
When you're in like a house, it's square. Like everything else is, they do a great job. It's kind of like in movies where they're focusing on a character. You see the character's face smooth, but everything else is
blurred out back. Yep.
That's how it looks. So
a vignette type thing. They have that whole thing going throughout the entire
and it works so perfect. It's almost like even you're watching a play. When you're in certain areas, because you're seeing like these small constrained areas, but you're seeing the set in the back, and you're seeing these characters act out. That's how I think, to me, like the closest similarities would be.
Totally, it makes a lot of sense. So let's get into your hands-on experience so far. We'll start with Caro this time, ladies first. What character did you start with and why? Even though I know the answer, but for everybody listening. And then your hands-on impression, maybe how long you've played so far, and what do you think of the game so far, as much as you've done?
I started with the demo, the second demo that we've gotten that you allowed 3 hours play over to rollover. I started with Haunted on that, and I traveled down southwest to Boulder Fall to pick up Therion the Thief. By far, I think those two are actually my favorite characters, so it's weird that it kind of worked out that way. I've played about 28 hours. I've collected all of the 8 characters so far. I've started chapter 2 I've completed chapter 2 for Therion, and I'm just currently grinding to get everybody else, because chapter 2 at the level I was at, even for my main 4, which is Haunted, Therion, Ophelia, and Ulbrich. I keep going to call him Oberion for whatever reason. With those 4, I felt underleveled. I struggled. I healed like maybe 50 times in battle.
Oh man, those battles.
The boss battles are brutal, just brutal. Totally unforgiving. And I just feel like I need to grind some more, especially the fact that there's no EXP share. And I wish there was an EXP share. Maybe there's an item down the line that we get or something. But the fact that you can only take 4 at a time, and the other 4 sit kind of just in the tavern or wherever you leave them until you can switch your party out, they don't gain those levels while the other people. So I've got 4 level high 20s, almost 30s, and then 4 not even level 10, 12 yet. And that's the only qualm that I have with it so far. But obviously I've played about 28 hours, like I said. And I think that speaks volumes, probably. The 28 hours I've devoted in less than a week. And I'm loving all of the characters. They all have so much to offer. I think my least favorite is Alphen, just because he is an apothecary, yet when I've got my healer Ophelia and she automatically heals instead of having to mix pots like you do for an apothecary.
Oh, sure.
It just kind of seems counterintuitive. And actually, the first job that I encountered in the wild that you can get was the apothecary job. I'm like, well, great, I'm never going to use this thing. So I'll only level up Alphen just to get his storyline done. He's not going to probably be any of my main party unless he ends up being like a huge DPS tank type character. But
definitely not.
It doesn't seem like that.
That's my 2 cents so far.
For me, most of my party is the same. I have, I believe, 5 characters so far. I've played 10 hours of the game. I have Therion, which is, he's my favorite. He is Bay material. I have Hyatt as well. I'm gonna just call her Hyatt Hotel. I got her Hunter. Rate 5 stars on Travelocity. And I got Alphen, which I'll just call Alvin, because
Alvin, yep.
Just put a Y in there to be different. Come on. Yeah. And then I got Ulbrich, And Ulbricht's, I love his story. His story is awesome.
Dude, it's so good.
It's awesome so far. And right now I'm actually going to get Ophelia because I found out she's a healer and I could ditch Alvin and the Chipmunks. I hate them. I hate having to go through his
love Ophelia.
crap.
The best thing about Ophelia is she's got less HP than, you know, the rest of them, obviously, but she's not so squishy that she's useless just for healing. If you put a good mace on her, she deals a lot of damage. So when you're not healing, that's like a good thing to use, like just rack up her points and then unleash them all. And you can do like 500 damage with her in one go.
Yeah, I love, so like the different play styles we talked about, Apothecary, we're not a big fan of. I love, well, my question for you, I'm sorry, Kevin, I'm taking a shot for a second.
No, it's fine.
Go right ahead.
Who's your favorite character so far? Like playing wise, not story wise, but like who you're for.
Playing wise, Honnet, absolutely. And I think I knew when I was choosing in the beginning that I wanted that hunter character because I had a hunter on so many MMOs, and I just love that idea of taming beasts and using them. Yep. And she has the archery skill and the axe, so it just kind of spoke to me from an MMO's perspective. In terms of story,
hold on. I gotta call time out here, Caroline. Why don't you tell everybody the real reason you like her and you picked her?
Because she has a kitty cat and it's a white snow leopard and it's precious and its name is Lind and it's really, really powerful.
That's better. Okay, continue.
In terms of story, I'd have to say I like Therion's story a lot. But Primrose's story is absolutely just devastatingly
good.
Gosh, you just like the girl that does her voice acting is just superb, by the way. And just it makes you want to punch somebody for her. It just makes you want to annihilate somebody.
Yeah. Her story is really excellent. And for the most part, I only did chapter 1 with her. I'm not a fan of her gameplay though.
I don't like using her much either. Her dagger is weak.
Very weak.
If you don't allure somebody and bring them along to fight for you, she's not very strong. So I've kind of just used her in the side, like she's leeching off of other people that are higher levels just to get the higher levels herself.
Yeah. And that's fun. Yeah, her ability is it's funny. Her ability is that she's super hot.
Yeah, exactly. She can even lure women. So I mean, like the only people she can't allure are children. I mean, like I can even allure grandma.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
who wouldn't? Those gams. Yeah, no. Yeah, Primrose's character is awesome. Yeah, Alvin, I hated him. The character that voices his friend Seth is not possibly, sorry, that would be an understatement. The worst voice actor I've heard in what is supposed to be a AAA game. I don't play bad games for fun. And this game, Nintendo put a lot of money behind it. And it seemed like they like the guy that was supposed to voice Seth was sick that day. And they're like, hey, one of the dev teams, oh, you guys are busy? Get the janitor.
Yeah, hey Frank, come over here.
And then Frank's like, this is my big break. It's like
Alvin was the last one that I got, so I was completely uninterested in his story by that time because as soon as I knew that the apothecary was the last one that I had to get, I tuned out because I knew that class was just something that I wasn't interested in to begin with. So, and to add on top of that, if anybody listened to OT, sort of spoiler alert, the first boss you have to fight with Alvin is a gigantic venomous snake. And I don't do snakes.
No.
You're the Indiana Jones of PSVG is what you're telling us.
Yeah.
If you didn't listen to it, I survived a copperhead snake bite, so you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, no, it's.
I mean, I couldn't look at this. I couldn't look at the screen. It's that bad for me. I had to like block out that side of the screen with my hand while I played it.
I thought you'd be like, Brian, come here.
Brian.
No, he knew. He was looking at me. He's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I mean, I had to wear socks afterwards, and I have such psychological problems with it.
I would too. I definitely would too. Yeah, no, that snake boss also, man. what a real piece of crap, you guys.
Yeah.
What a I just wanted I don't want to punch that face, whoever thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
It's just not like it was a bad boss. It was a really difficult boss, which is like the awesome thing about the combat is it's all a puzzle. It's all figuring out what moves to use and how many times. So like the combat is every opponent has a shield. And each shield has a weakness. Some have like 3 or 2 abilities that it's weak to. Some of them have a whole,
like I've seen up to 5.
Yeah, about 5. And those characters, they have counters to the shield. So if you hit, let's just say the snake's weak to swords, right? You hit the snake with the sword, the shield breaks, and then it's stunned. It can't do its turn, and you can then, what is really awesome, do a daisy chain of just mayhem and devastation towards that enemy. When you break a shield, it has this awesome slow-mo like visual to it, and the combos, oh my god, so rewarding.
I know. It's so that sound of just it's it's therapeutic almost.
Yeah, and the cool thing too is like each character, it's indicated has like a dot, and every turn you gain a dot, which means your basic attacks you can charge your person up, and max up to 4 times. 4 times. And you can. So if the snake's weak to swords, but it has a 5 counter, that means you got to hit it 5 times with swords. So you could charge up your dude, hit him 5 times, and then bam, you can just then go to town on him.
Yep.
It's oh my god. Ugh.
And similar to Bravely, you did get one of those dots each level or each turn that you did, but those were just if you wanted to do them in succession. It wasn't about breaking a shield or anything. This has a purpose for retaining those extra attacks if you want them to, or just outright using them all in one go if you want to.
Yeah, and it feels. Man, when you get all the enemies dazed and confused,
I know
it is so awesome that then your next turn you're like, oh man, you are all mine.
Yep.
Who am I ganging up on this turn? Like,
I think there was one in that snake cave actually that they were all dark elements. So I used Ophelia on them because she has a light attack, and she has a light attack that affects all enemies in range that like costs 9 SP, but they all had the one shield. So as soon as she hits it, all 5 of them are just taken out. It was so awesome.
Ophelia is the next character I need to get. Like,
you gotta get her,
and I'm so excited. Oh my god.
I personally love her because Christina V is her voice actress, and Chris V is one of my favorite voice actresses. And when I found out that she was voicing her in the game, I was like, I got to get her next. This was after the demo. So I went from Therion all the way over to
that's a really long ways off. What I did was I took Hyatt Hotel and I just used Travelocity to hit every single city. And I was like, Expedia, I got Therion, I'll keep going with this joke. There's so many more
deals.
Yeah, the best deals. You talk to that gnome guy, he's real good.
No.
Real creepy too, right? Doesn't blink, mouth doesn't move, it's just a statue.
Yeah.
Who thought in the PR room that was a good idea? Because that thing gave me nightmares. Anyway,
years later, still using it. But anyway, so I think the biggest thing to take away from all this, because we don't want to talk too much about it, but basically we want to address it because everybody's talking about it, and hopefully push some people that are on the edge off that edge and say, go get it because it's worth it. You have 2 people here that are having a great experience that both have different backgrounds and different appreciations for those SNES RPG type things. You no experience to lots of experience, and I think it's a great rewarding game for everybody. I find it ironic that people or even Square themselves were surprised at the level of success it had when to me it was like a no-brainer. Like right from the start, I'm like, this is going to do amazing. Like, and it seems like they second guessed it, which is kind of crazy.
They even came out and apologized for their underestimation of the game and that they were creating more copies to go on sale, especially in Japan.
Right,
it's sold out. You can't get it.
Yeah, I mean that's nuts.
Yeah, I was talking to Turbo Jesse about it on Twitter, and he put his tinfoil hat on. He's like, I bet they did it on purpose for publicity, and I'm like, I don't think you need to do that.
No.
I mean, like Square, I think in this marketplace, when you're a AAA developer, you just look at Crash Bandicoot is a great example, right? last year when that came out on what shall not be named, but you can check out the Trophy Room, a blank podcast made by the blank. And like when Crash came out, like Activision was utterly shocked. This game was selling systems and nobody thought it would, because it's a platformer, right? It's so everybody wants the first person battle royale, everything, right? Like it's all about AAA studios are all about finding the fad, milking it till death, and then finding another fad. And you know, when you're looking at something like Crash, which is crazy to say, right? Retro, and when you're looking at Octopath, a inspired retro game, and you're AAA, you pour hundreds of millions of dollars into Final Fantasy 15, and you expect that to do well. You expect Kingdom Hearts to do well. You look at Octopath, probably a smaller budget from a smaller team, from a mobile, not mobile, but you know what I'm saying, a handheld game. Yeah. And you're expecting them to, like do well, right? You expect to do well. You don't expect it to do that great. And I think in this climate that is, dude, it's so dead for news, right? It's so slow, and this game just take off. It's kind of just like
it's like the summer blockbuster for games.
It's a summer blockbuster. Yes, it's kind of like it's kind of like something like a Fortnite. It just comes out of nowhere and it's in the zeitgeist. And I think Octopath does a great job, because that's what you like. Nintendo fans, from what I've seen from so many of you guys, is you guys love that. Like you love your Shovel Knights, you love your Hollow Knights, right? And so I think this is amazing news. I think I don't think it's on purpose. Yeah.
No, I don't think so either. So to move along and get some other news topics out here, let's talk. There's a couple of games of note coming out this week and early next week that I think we should pay some attention to. Obviously, Nintendo's really kind of ramping up. You guys covered it last week with the indies coming out with more and more indies every week. They want to push for like 20 to 30 a week, which is insane. But when you look at it, they've kind of almost been doing that anyway. Most weeks, there's been a ton of games coming out, just continuing. But a couple highlights I picked out. Number one for me, and I know Jason and Lacey's on the fence here on this one too. We're both kind of interested, want to see what it does. Adult Swim Games Pool Panic is out now. Yeah. The most unrealistic pool game ever, as they call it. Looks very funny in typical Adult Swim fashion. So I may pick that up. It's currently out now, $14.99. The other game of note that comes out the 24th, so early next week, the Mega Man X Legacy Collections. 1 and 2 drop on July 24th, which is awesome for fans of that series. I have always loved Mega Man X more than the traditional Mega Man games, so I'm kind of excited about this. And then in my head, I'm like, I don't know if I can go back. Those games are hard. Mega Man's hard. I mean, I think everybody knows that, and I could play it as a kid. I don't think I can play it as an adult now. Like, I don't think I'm good enough anymore.
This goes back to the physical and digital thing. I would buy the Mega Man collection and the Mega Man X collection if you made the whole thing physical. Why are you going to make half of it physical and then the other half downloadable for digital?
You got to stop doing that. It's because, like, you know, the one thing about those cartridges is, other than they taste delicious, is that they're expensive to make. They're pretty expensive to make. So, you know, they'll take, you know, any company will take the cheap, easy way out than to do what would fans would like. And you get that ugly sticker on top of that case. You get half of the game. I hate that. Half. Come on. Yeah. It's stupid. And it's cutting corners when, you know, fans would respect you a little bit more and go out and buy that thing a little bit more if you just went the extra mile.
Exactly.
Speaking of cartridges tasting gross, I actually licked my limited run Thimble cartridge thing just to see if, hey, maybe the limited run is going to be different. No, it tastes just as bad.
Tastes like butt. Yeah.
Oh,
like earwax. Ugh.
I still have yet to do it, thankfully. I was never tempted, even though everybody talks about it. I still have not done it, and I will not. But there was some breaking news that came out literally like right before we hit record. So, Caro, tell us what every Switch owner should be doing right now.
You should be updating your Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, especially if you're a Zelda fan, because in addition to the regular Link that we get, we're getting, I believe it's a new character, guys. It's a new Link that has the champion's tunic and the ponytail and everything. And not only that, you're getting his Master Cycle Zero from the second DLC in Breath of the Wild. Comes with ancient tires, you know, when you can unlock those. And his paraglider is like the actual paraglider for the cart in the game. So that is available now, 1.6.0 update. It dropped out of the blue this evening, right before we went, you know, like literally an hour ago, it dropped.
Yeah.
So
and it's
go
completely
download
free, right?
Completely free.
which is nuts. And I'm wondering, is there more? So they said that there was gonna be more DLC, and I mean, if this is all they give us, then that's fine, because nobody was expecting this. That's clear. So if there's more coming down the line, they do say, hey, this is going to cost you $5-10, whatever, for some more cups. Like we've seen some rumors out there as far as what's going on, but the funny thing is, the rumors we saw last week had nothing mentioned like this. Yeah. They were completely wrong. So obviously the rumors aren't true. So now I'm wondering, is there more coming down? Paid or unpaid, I'm fine with it either way. I'll probably do it because Mario Kart's freaking awesome. Everybody loves it.
I want a Breath of the Wild course, just the field, the Hyrule field, just out in the middle of nowhere, and you have to run past guardians and stuff. That'd be awesome.
That would be so good. That'd be so good.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't own Mario Kart 8.
You need to get it. You do.
I've played it. If I'm not good at a game, it sucks.
Sure.
And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Let's get it out of the way. It's not that great. There's better Mario Karts out there, guys. There's better. I know.
We would beg to differ.
I know. I listened to the last episode. You guys were very adamant that this is the best of the best and all this. But let me tell you guys, it's first off, Mario Kart 7's way better. The one on the 3DS, fantastic. So many of the maps are on there.
I liked it, but I think this is just the epitome of a Mario Kart game.
But then to me also, Mario Kart is not just racing, it's also the battle portions.
Oh, you're like Donnie. Okay.
Yeah, man. When you guys were talking about, I think last episode was dude, bring us the N64 maps. Nobody wants to play this dumb, put the piranha plant on there. Nobody wants to play that. And all of the other God, yeah, come on, guys. So to me, I'm just it's good. It's good. Yeah, Nintendo fans, don't start throwing stones at me, okay? All right. It's good. It's just, to me, it's not the greatest, but I will say this again. I know some people are having a heart attack out there. Just take your medicine, calm down. This actually tempts me to go back in, to actually dip my feet back into the pool that is Mario Kart.
Yeah, Luke Lore is slandering you in the chat right now as it goes on about this. And I will say...
He's playing I don't know right now. He's playing on the Xbox, whatever that is.
But so it's funny. So you brought up the battle mode.
Yeah.
I played battle mode like the SNES and 64 one. So I've owned Mario Kart 8 on both the Wii U and the Switch now.
Same.
Have never touched battle mode once. Not even.
That's a damn shame.
Never even clicked on it. No interest.
Oh my God. Yeah, no.
Battle mode stopped being good after N64. I don't even remember the GameCube stages. Maybe the donut or something. Was there a donut in that?
No idea.
That's the only one I never played. I've never played Double Dash.
Double Dash was good. Double Dash was good.
But yeah, no, for me, my childhood is surrounding Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, and Mario Kart in particular. My cousin would come over, and hours wasted on Block 4. It's just
me too.
So good.
I don't remember the name of the one that had the red and the green tiers. There were 4 levels.
Oh, I remember that. I don't know the name of it, but I remember that when you bring it up.
But we would get lost on that one too.
Yeah, it was nuts. So a couple of the quick hit news stories, nothing real deep here. But the Unreal Engine is known for powering most games on Nintendo Switch. Epic just released version 4.2 of the Unreal Engine. This iteration significantly improves Nintendo Switch development with performance and memory enhancements. Basically a bunch of techno jargon, but there's support for dynamic resolution and temporal upsampling, low latency frames syncing, significant CPU rendering, improvements to threading, texture compression, stuff like that. But Epic is continuing to support Nintendo. So this looks like we may be able to get games that, once again, much like Wolfenstein and these other games that we're getting that people think shouldn't be even playable on a Switch, it's making it easier now. It's great to see Epic. Epic is doing so much right now. It's crazy to think that, I'm still gonna do this. They're supporting the consoles that are, helping support their product in the long term, and it's all free.
If I could just say one quick thing, this is so needed, because if you played the latest patch of that game, I can't say, or else Luke's gonna yell at me. It's rough. It's real rough. Things are not rendering properly.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
It's I landed in that Fortnite does a really special thing of how it renders objects, and when you're really far away, things look really, really rough, like cardboard cutouts. Yeah. And one time I was in Tilted Towers, and I couldn't enter a building because it didn't render. And so this was definitely needed. It also shows how Epic views the Switch as well. This is like, to me, this is huge news because it shows, the Switch version is printing them cash just as much as all the other, major players out there too.
No, it makes sense. Makes sense. So the next topic here, Famitsu Magazine had an interview with Sakurai, of course, we're on Super Smash Brothers. There's a couple quotes here that are interesting, I think. Number one, he was very happy that the game really wasn't leaked prior to the announcement, which was insane when you think about like what the game was in a sense. So his exact quotes is like, to be honest, I'm really glad it didn't leak. If it leaked that all characters were going to be in it, it wouldn't have gotten the same reception when people just went nuts. They're like, hey, everything is in this game. He really wanted to avoid having the work of several years work on this. I mean, essentially right from when the last one ended, he jumped right on this. By somebody who just wanted to, leak the stories we see happen all the time in the industry. But the thing I thought was most interesting here, and it makes perfect sense, and it's almost refreshing to hear a developer speak so honest about it. He questions what Nintendo would do with the next title. Having all characters playable for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate might have in turn been a Pandora's box that could possibly ruin what they could do next in the series. Like this may be, like we talk about being the pinnacle Smash Brothers, but when you think about it, this could very well be the last Smash Brothers.
That's what I've said.
Possibly do.
Yeah.
So, and he said, however, he's not thinking at all about what's next. So he's made that perfectly clear. He's not working anything. He's done. Not doing it. Not even thinking about it because they're still, this is a work in progress for him now. But there's no plan down the line for what's next. But I just feel like, what could you do next? It's crazy.
Port it forever. I've said that Sakurai during the Wii U time, he was talking about how he was tired and he didn't want to do another one, and he didn't want to do another one. And I think that this is kind of, I feel when I saw it in E3 that this is kind of his final hurrah.
Right.
And
yeah, I think so.
This is like his last thing to the series. And if Nintendo wants to keep running with it, that's fine. But this is his last thing that he's personally giving to everybody.
Yeah.
For the series himself, and I don't see how you can beat it.
Yeah, I think
keep adding people.
Yeah, I think this.
But at the point, they're going to be lame. It's going to be like it's going to be. We talk about Smash Bros. Is the ultimate in fan service. Like we get all these characters in the same world essentially. But at some point, like you're going to run out of good characters, and it's going to be like, okay, there's 10 new characters, but it's people you don't even care about. Then like that's going to take away from it. So
yeah. This is his magnum opus. I think this is him saying goodbye, maybe, but I think Super Smash Brothers as a franchise will always live on as long as there's people who take Sakurai's vision and are passionate about it and who have that love for it. Then you can it'll still be around. The thing prints money. It'll be around long after I'm gone. That's for sure.
Very true. Very true. So last story to end it on a light note. I'm sending you guys a link right now. You can check out and click and follow with me. Mattel finally did the smart thing.
I
Mattel,
know.
Maker Hot Wheels is releasing Mario Kart themed cars. Now they're not. We've seen them do Nintendo cars in the past where they're just Nintendo themed cars. This is not that, everybody. Red alert. This is legit like Mario in the kart driving it. These look amazing. These look great. They do not look like traditional Hot Wheels by any means. They're going to run you $5 each. They're debuting at San Diego's Comic-Con, which is going on right now. Shout out, by the way, Justin Warner's over there doing stuff for Marvel. So what up, dude? But these are available like essentially now. They'll hit stores probably later on. So it coincides with Mario Kart news. They got the DLC. We got these new figurines, and these look awesome. Like you guys can see the picture. They look so cool. Everybody's
upset that Waluigi is, of course, not in the lineup. But whatever, man. They got my girl Rosalina in there, and Luigi. I think I'm just gonna buy the ones that I want. I'm not gonna let this turn into another amiibo craze where I have to buy them all.
That's true. And I will say though, the one disappointment I have here is Wario's not in his like hot rod.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Like it's not his car. Like but they still look awesome. Yeah,
they're meant to fit on those tracks. They're meant to fit on the ones that can go around in the
loop-de-loops and everything. Yep, yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that they'll line up into stores next June though. So it's like way out there.
Next June?
That's what it says. That's the press release.
You missed your Christmas opportunity this year, guys.
I don't know. Maybe they're going to do a full series and this is just kind of the prototype, but you'll be able to see him in the flesh at San Diego Comic-Con if you're there. But yeah, still really cool.
I hope that the actual thing, like, you remember the Amiibo prototypes and how amazing they looked, and then the products were.
That's true.
That's what I'm worried about, especially for a $5 toy. Yeah, we'll see.
You're muted.
Who's muted? Oh,
Joseph is. Can't hear you at all, man. I hear you talking, but
Oh no.
oh, there we go. Now I hear you.
Okay, well that's
I don't know what happened, but yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was talking to you guys. Okay, no, I would pay $20 for give me a Luigi, give me Angry Luigi. I want it.
Oh my god, yes.
You know,
that would be great. Stare
make
down
them like the pops. Yeah, just like different variants.
Google didn't want me to say that because they're like, we're holding that a secret.
Like, give away all the secrets. But yeah, so just a little fun light story to end it up. So we're about out of time, but before, of course, we have to do our plugs. So Joseph, take it away. So where can people find you and the lovely things you're working on?
So you could check my YouTube channel, Bad Bit Games, where we talk about all things video games. Yes, we talk about Nintendo, guys. We do. An awful lot, actually. PlayStation, Xbox, everything games. It's all about the conversation. And then every single Wednesday, you can check the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. Let's get it on Spotify. You know, nobody talks about Spotify.
Oh, we just got on Spotify, so yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
You know, listen, I'll go into the Spotify dungeon. I will battle whatever creatures I need to. Let's make it happen. You can check us out there. It's a fantastic show. We just celebrated episode 50. We had so many people in the chat. It was insane. It gave me all the warm feels in my heart. Thank you guys so much. So check that out. It's fantastic. I get to do it every single week with one of my best friends. So
awesome. Caroline, where can people find you and whatever you're up to currently?
You can find me on Twitter at the Nintendame. I do the Nintendo Shack podcast. I am the regular. Don't worry about it. The other guys should be back, you know. And I'm also with Kevin on Arcadia Academia. And we recently did the flagship show this past week, PSVG show with JP Dyson and Jeremy Saucier from the Strong Museum of Play, and talking about their recent book. So go check that out. I'm also starting video game live streaming, guys, and I've been doing this every day since I got my setup earlier this week. So find me on Twitch at the Nintendame. I'm going to upload all of my archived stuff to YouTube under my name and under the PSVG name. I've just got to figure out why it's not uploading in 1080p right now. It does record at 1080p, but anyway, check me out there. I'm streaming Octopath right now because that's all I'm playing.
It's so much fun watching. Your streams are fantastic, by the way. And there's already so many people. So join the many, please, before it's too late. I don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so
yeah.
I'm hoping to make the stream even better with, you know, like good lighting and a good gaming chair. This thing's old and a piece of crap and it squeaks. So any donations or any views you want to give me, just come and hang out with me while I talk. So it helps me unwind after a hard day at work.
Exactly. So, Twitch.tv/the Nintendame.
The Nintendame, yes.
So there you go. Go and give her a like and subscribe and check out her streams there. And it's all good right now because she's not playing Xenogears. Oh, whatever it is. You're not playing Xeno.
You're two Xenos too late.
Whatever.
There's
you're not Xenoing anything right now, so that's all.
Not really until September.
That's true. So follow me if you're interested at PSVG Kevin on Twitter. Of course, follow the website and the entire podcast network at PSVG. We of course have to thank all of our amazing producers over at Patreon.com/MakeUsBetter, which supports us and Bad Bit Gaming. So it's a twofer. If you like what we do and you like what he does, it's only one donation. You don't need to make multiple ones. You don't have to subscribe to multiple Patreons. We made it easy for you, the people. But more importantly, over everything, everybody, we ask as always that you never stop gaming.
This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening, and I forgot the line already. What?